So it was yesterday or the day before, somebody posted a meme that they said was bad theology. And it showed Putin basically in the place of Jesus. And it was an old meme where Jesus is knocking on a door and they replaced Jesus' face with Putin. And the meme was like from an atheist that was mocking Christianity. And it said, Jesus is knocking. He was like, let me in. And the person inside is like, why not? Because of what I'll do to you if you don't let me in. And so it's like mocking the idea that like Jesus is saving us from what? Well, from himself. Like, well, that's not, like, you're threatening to torture me if I don't be friends with you. Like, oh, you're really great. And it's sort of like mocking that whole concept. And someone posted this meme, and they put Vladimir Putin's face there and basically said like, bad theology leads to, I forget their exact words, but basically trying to say that like the kind of theology that says like God will punish you if you don't let him in to your heart in hell, that basically had some sort of influence or was related in some way to Vladimir Putin's behavior, I guess, because he's like going to invade, and if you don't let him take over, he's going to, kill you or something like that. And I told him, I said, there's a sense in which the meme is actually true. And this person wanted to like play dumb, basically like, what do you mean? What verses are you talking about? As if they have no idea that Jesus tells parables that are exactly like that, where God has a banquet, and if you come to the banquet without the right robe on, he throws you out. And God's the one who does that. God says, send him out, to where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth. And the Bible talks about hell as God's judgment. That God is saying, if you will not repent and come to me, then I'm going to put you in hell. That's my judgment. And the Bible sometimes talks about it that way. And is that the best way to talk about it? I don't think so. And I would agree with this person if all they said was, yeah, I don't think this is the best way to talk about hell. That's not the way I normally talk about it. But it is one way in which we can talk about hell. It's a biblical way. And there's a sense in which it's true. And so I wanted to make this video to talk about that subject. When we talk about hell and God's judgment and what it looks like and why people go to hell and what's the difference between being in heaven and being in hell, one helpful way to think about this is like God is love. He's like a burning, infinite, eternal, omnipotent, omnipresent ball of burning love. That's like one way to understand God. And if you love God, if you'll allow his love to enter your heart, then the fire of his love will be ecstasy and joy and the beatific vision, and you'll enjoy being in his presence because you love love. You've allowed love into your heart, so you love love, and so you experience that flame of love, the spirit of Pentecost, as goodness and beauty and love and pleasure and joy and the beatific vision. But if you refuse to let God's love into your heart, then that flame of love is merely going to burn you, and it's going to feel like pain and torture. And so it's something you've done to yourself because you've refused to allow yourself to love love, and because of that, love will always be torment to you for all of eternity. Like, that's one helpful way to kind of understand heaven and hell and what that looks like and why it's that way. And C.S. Lewis says hell is locked from the inside, and that's kind of one way of understanding it, is like God's not wanting to torture people. It's rather they will eternally refuse to love him. And so that's like one valid way to look at it. But that's only one valid way to look at it. And I do prefer to speak about it that way. But there is this other biblical way of speaking about hell, which is it's God's judgment. God has judged that some people deserve eternal torment, and he sends them there. Jesus tells parables where God is judging and sending and saying these people deserve, and I'm going to put them where it's eternal torment. And so there is this other flip side of this coin that's a biblical way to speak about it. And It might not be the best way to speak about it, but it's a biblical way to speak about it. So I guess I did this video probably just because I'm going to post it underneath the comments to that guy, because it's easier to say this stuff than it is to type it. But also for you guys who follow me, I like to talk about these things. And this is kind of going back to my earlier videos about the dialectic of salvation, where I was talking about there's this dialectic between merit and sola fide. Here, kind of, we also have a dialectic in regards hell being locked from the inside in one sense, and also, no, God sends you there in another sense. And both of them are biblical ways of thinking and speaking about hell. And I think we have to hold both of them up in tension and dialogue with each other in order to get the complete biblical view. All right, guys. God bless y'all.